I got 24 articles into it, and I realized that none of the content that I created was any use because of this one thing right here. All the articles that I wrote were 100% AI detected on Originality AI. Like I said, I was super excited to write articles for my website at gallanroberts.com. I go over to my website and I scroll down here. You can see that I have all these categories of different articles. I wrote a lot of software review articles. You see here, they have these great pictures and all this text here. And I was just going through and making all these cool blog articles, and I got into making all these articles on my website, and I realized that I was having a big problem because all these were 100% AI generated content, and Originality.ai was picking that up. You can see over here that I have all this information, and I had a whole system where I was generating this content. Let's point out some of the things that make this appear AI generated. You can see that each product that it's reviewing has the same format as far as paragraphs and the style of paragraphs. That's a clue right there. And then the information that it was providing me was very generic on each product review. And it was always starting off sentences like with this comma, overall, comma, and then doing it in other places as well. In addition to its language translation capabilities, comma. And so I didn't like the sentence structures and the way that it was easily detected. That's my blog. And my goal was to write 400 articles for my blog here using ChatGPT. And I had to come up with a solution to allow me to write articles at speed and still get past the AI detection tools or bots that are on the internet through Google, that this information can get ranked and I can start getting traffic to my website and products and services. Let's use a free tool. This free tool is called SlickWriter, slickWriter.com. It's free to use. You just paste in your article here and then hit the continue. And it looks at your article and finds unusual things about your article, like too many adverbs or can't read that, or too cliche, run-on sentences, simple sentences, and things like that. If you go up here to structure, you can see your sentence structure. Things that are green are complex sentences, and then things that are purple, these are really the things that mark your content as being AI generated, is these purple parts. If you can fix these purple parts, you can get a higher score in Originality AI. You can get a higher score and move some of this information from 100% AI to 100% original or human, like here. And so I have a process for finding content and generating content and making it non-detectable. There are some people that say you can take your content that ChatGPT creates for you, right? You take this content and you copy and paste it into quillbot.com. This is a paid tool. You can join for free, but if you want to use the creative rewrite or rephrase, you need to pay for it. So you just paste it in here and then hit the rephrase button or paraphrase button down here, and it will rewrite it. And you can get around an 80% score with using this bot right here. An 80% is okay, but I still don't want it being detected by Google. How do you go from an 80% score to 100%? And I want all my articles on my website to be 100% human written, or at least detected that way. I'm going to show you that process here in just a second. But I wanted to go over Quillbot's pricing structure. If you pay annually, it's $8.33 a month. If you're going to pay monthly, it's around $20 a month, $19.95 a month, $20 a month. And you really need that. And there are some limitations as far as 6,000 words and fast processing, advanced grammar, rewriting, plagiarism check. And so that's important too. A plagiarism check is a good thing. Quillbot will do that as well. And you want to have access to that creative option because that's really what's going to score the best for this. The other problem that I find when you paraphrase with Quillbot is that it generates generic content and it doesn't have good engagement with the actual reader that's reading it. I'm going to show you how to write content that has better engagement and rank higher in the search engines. And also, it doesn't optimize for SEO. The keyword and keyword phrases that you want to have in your content are scrubbed out when you use Quillbot. I don't recommend that you use Quillbot. I recommend that you follow the system that I'm about to show you, and this will give you a better chance of ranking and also getting 100% quality score on your AI originality. All right, let's go into ChatGPT and talk about what you need to modify and change on ChatGPT to give you more specific keyword rich content that you can post on your blog, and how to convert what this creates over here to being something that you can publish on your blog. There's a couple steps that you need to take. You just can't copy and paste the information from ChatGPT into your blog, and I'm going to show you that right now why you can't do that, and going forward in the future some of the hurdles that you will fall into, some of the traps you will fall into if you do copy and paste it to your blog. Here's an article that I found. There's a couple different articles talking about ChatGPT and the future of ChatGPT. And what's going to end up happening is that they're going to put in invisible coding into the articles that are written on ChatGPT, and you're not going to be able to get this digital coding out of your articles. If you just copy and paste it into your blog, that invisible coding is going to be embedded in your articles that ChatGPT creates, and then there's going to be softwares that are going to be able to detect this. People can't write term papers and schoolwork and other pieces of written content and pass it off as their own, right? There's going to be technologies coming out that are going to not enable you to get away with getting your content passed as original and as human written. You need to take this into consideration when you're generating content on ChatGPT. You simply cannot copy and paste it into anything, into a Word document, into your blog or any other text type of application, and pass it off as a human written piece of content. That's not going to be something that you can do. Present time, you can do that. But in the future, there's going to be software embedded in the ChatGPT output that's going to disallow you to get away with claiming it as a personally generated piece of content. Don't copy and paste from ChatGPT. That's the moral of the story. But you can use it to write content, and then I'm going to show you how to convert that from AI generated content into human written content. And it's not going to take, it's just a few extra steps, and it's definitely going to help you get ranked higher in the search engines and not be detected as AI written content. I know I've beaten this horse to death. The first thing I want to address with ChatGPT is its generic output, right? If you write an article in here, it's going to pull information from its archives in 2021, and it's going to give you a generic output A, B, and C output. I want to create a key-rich output that I can use it for my blog article that's going to be ranked in Google, right? I want to have the keywords in my article and have ChatGPT write me a compelling article or section to a blog article that's usable. I can use as a very, very detailed outline that I can then paraphrase that into something that's more human. I hope that makes sense. How do I create the content? How do I set this up? It's going to give me the best quality output. The first thing that you want to do is you want to create a set of preferences. And you can see the preferences right here. If you go to my website at gallanroberts.com, sign up for my free mini course. There's in the resource section, I will give you my preferences right here. It's free to join. If you want these preferences, or if you just want to write these out, still frame this video right now and screen capture it or whatever you're going to do. And then you can use mine to go off as a template. And this is what's working for me right now, but it may change in the future. This is the preferences that I put in there. The first thing I do when I start a new chat is I put in my preferences. And so my preferences are, number one is do not use commas in this section. I don't want it to use these commas in the beginning of the sentence, that it's just a compound or complex sentence structure and it's always using adverbs at the beginning of the content. I don't want that to happen. Only use a conjunction with a comma in a sentence if necessary. If you have a list of items and you want to conjoin those in a sentence, then it's fine to use a comma that way. I just want to get rid of a lot of the commas that are in the content. Use a variety of sentence structures, including compound and complex sentences. It's going to have to use commas, but I'm just trying to reduce the amount of commas that it uses. Number 3 is select keyword phrases from a list at random. If you take keywords, which I'm going to show you how to get the keyword list in just a second, but if you take a list of keywords and you put it into ChatGPT and put the title keywords in there, it's going to go from the first one on that list and then just keep reusing the first item on that list. And it's never going to actually use all the different keywords that you put in there. It's just going to take that first one and just reuse it over and over again, because it's going to say, okay, keyword equals the first item in the list. And so when you make a list of keywords, it just goes back to that first item on the list and never goes further than that. When you ask it to use the keywords that you gave a list to use, you want it to tell the list to be randomized. All right, randomly select one keyword and only use the keyword every 90 to 100 words. I don't want a keyword like every other word. I want a keyword randomized every 100 words and put that in there. ChatGPT does an okay job at doing this. I'm still working on this variable a little bit. Just keep tweaking it and finding the right method for placing keywords in your content. Number 4 is use a title keyword only in the first and last sentence. The other thing that it does is, like, every paragraph, it puts the keyword in like that sentence. And so what I was trying to do is just have the keyword at the very beginning of the section and have the keyword at the very end of the section, because I don't want the keyword to be used in there over and over again. And also, when I put the keyword in the title, like I'm reviewing a particular software, it will use that software, for the name of that software is, over and over again inside that section. And it's something that you have to edit out if you're going to use this as content on your blog, because you don't have repeating keywords over and over again. Number 5 is use the first person I pronoun. A lot of times it uses we do this stuff as a pronoun, and I wanted to write it in the first person. I did this, and I recommend this, and I do that, and I have done this, that it seems more human, because when you use we, then it sounds more robotic and it doesn't have engagement with the users. You want to use pronouns like I, you, and never use we as like the 4-letter word that you don't want to use in your copy, especially when you're writing it for SEO or for a sales letter or something like that. You don't want to use we in there, like using a cuss word. You're assuming things about the other person that may not be true. And number 6 is, again, I want to reemphasize, I don't want to start sentences with overall, finally, in addition to, and additionally, or as a writer, because it uses these over and over again in its writing content. That's it on the preferences. When you go to write content, how do you get it to see your preferences? What I use is a tool right here called Paste It. This way I don't have to rewrite this prompt over and over again. In Paste It, I have it set up here that it has the prompt in here just the way that I want it. And so when I go over to ChatGPT, I right click in the box and I paste it in there. And then between the quotes, I then put the title, tell me about OpenAI for blog post writing. You can write whatever you want inside the quotes, and then it refers to your preferences. Write it with my preferences, and I'm going to do that. And so now it's writing content based on my preferences, and it's going to tell me about OpenAI. And you notice that it has an introductory paragraph, and then it's going to have some key points. And it may be content that you can use, it may not be content that you can use. And so it has the same structure every single time. How do you avoid the same structure and get it more personalized than even this? The first thing you do is you set up your preferences. The next thing you want to do is get keyword rich information. Let me scroll up to the top here. All right, so what you want to do is you want to grab keyword rich content from the internet and use that in your article writing. And so what I'm going to show you right now is how to do that. You're going to go over to Google, you're going to type in your keyword, and here it's best AI content generator, okay? And then you're going to come down here and find a website that's already ranking in that category, okay? They've done a good job at their keyword research. They've ranked their content. They got people backlinking to their content. And so that's how they're ranking here on Google. This is probably a good source for finding keyword rich content, right? Now, I'm not talking about copying what they got, but what I am doing is just taking their keyword phrases and use that for ChatGPT to write high quality content. What I do is I have this free plug in my Chrome extension. It's called SEO Quake. And what I do is I just click on that. And then I go to page info. Okay. It took that web page and it created all this information about it. I know how many backlinks they got going to this page. I know their authority on the internet and their keywords for this particular page. I select all. Now I have all their keywords, and the only ones that I'm really interested in are these 4-word keywords right here. I'm going to click on 4-word keywords, and all these keywords is what I'm interested in. What I'm going to do is you can copy and paste these. There's an option up here where you can download this as a CSV file. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'll show you how to access this. I downloaded the CSV file, then I go to my Google Drive. In my Google Drive, I click on upload file. I find the download the CSV file, click on that, and I go to open. Then I click on the little link down here where I uploaded the file, and I can't manipulate anything in here at the moment. Then I want to convert this to a Google Sheet. I click this link in the middle of the screen that says Open With, and click on Google Sheets. Now I scroll down the list. Sure is a faster way. Scroll down the list to the bottom. All right, I'm going to open up my column a little bit. I can see the words. I hold down the Shift key and then I click on that and I hit copy right there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that information I just copied from my Google Sheet, and I'm going to put it into my notepad here, my programmer's notepad. This is a free thing you can install on your computer. This gets rid of all the formatting that is in the table on Google Docs. And then I need to add commas after each of these. And so what I do is I hit Control H on here, and you want to put regular expression right there, and you want to put a $sign right here. It's going to put a comma at the end of each of these phrases right here, and then you click on replace all. I have a $sign here, I have a comma there, and I have regular expression right there. Okay, when you do that, it automatically puts a comma at the end of all of these. All right, 155 commas. If you're going to do that by hand, you'd have to do it 150 times. You notice that all my keywords now have commas after them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all by Control A on my keyboard. And I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to put it in my swipe file here. Okay, boom, paste. Now this is my keyword list that I'm going to use in ChatGPT. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all that. I'm going to copy that. And now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm just simply going to paste in my keywords. Paste it right there. I pasted all 150 keywords in there, keyword phrases, and going down here. And if I click this little button right here, it takes me to the current spot in my chat. Now, when you paste in your keywords, ChatGPT is going to write a synopsis of what it thinks these keywords are about. And it does a really good job at taking the keywords and then writing you a little summary of some of the things that are in this keyword synopsis. I'm going to let that write itself out. Okay. It created a generic summary of things that it thinks is in this article. That's one thing you can do. Now I got the keywords in there. In my preferences, I refer to the keywords, and ChatGPT knows that, hey, these are the keywords that he's referring to, because I put the colon after the word keyword, and then I created a list using the commas, and now it knows that all those keywords are in the database. Next thing I'm going to do is add specific swipe files for topics inside of my, when I write a particular section, I want to have a specific kind of an outline or a group of text that will ChatGPT what to write about, or get more specific information. And so what I do is I go back to this tool and I click on, actually I just go to the bottom of the keyword section. And at the bottom of the keyword section is all the copy that's on this page. All the text that is on this page is right here. And so what I can do is simply copy this information. And what I do is I like to read through the information and then sort it out by topic. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to copy and paste this into ChatGPT just for demonstration. Don't actually do this, actually read through the copy and see, divide it into two sections that are topic related. And then you're going to write articles about certain topics. All you do is take this copy and go back to ChatGPT. It might throw up an error also if it's too much text. It might throw up an error saying, I can't do all that. Yeah. It threw up an error saying, hey, you can't, that's too long, you can't do that. Break it up into sections, break it up by topic, and do that. But I already did it for topics in here. And so what I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. Here's an example of this type of text that I created for Simplified. It's a product about AI content generation. And so you can see that I just copy and paste this from a website, and I pasted it in here, and it's got the colon after it. All I have to do is refer to Simplified, right? And so when I write my content, I click on my little link here, and I type out a message using Simplified. Here's my prompt. Write 300 word section to a blog article with the title, the key features of Simplified, and the pricing structure. So very generic. You can add any question that you want about Simplified. It's going to search its database. It's going to search the text that I put up here for Simplified, and it's going to search the keywords, and it's going to combine all that to create a high quality article. And it says apply my preferences for this section. Then I just simply hit enter, and now it's writing a very detailed, unique piece of content that I can use on my blog. Now obviously I'm not going to copy and paste this into my blog. I'm just going to simply use this as a reference. There's another step that I find will take my article that it writes right here and simply convert that into 100%. And it wrote me a generic article. Sometimes it does this, and what I'm going to do is just tell it to expand section. I told it to expand the last section and see what happens. Alright, it's telling me it can't do it. Alright, if you don't like what it wrote, then write in the word rephrase the last section and add more details about Simplified. When you do that and click the little send button, it's going to rewrite that section and put more information from those list of words that I created. Okay, this is better. You see it added more information about Simplified, gave me some more pricing structure, and this is a lot less generic than the last iteration of this post. All right, another thing that I could do is change it from 300 words to 500 words or something like that, and then it would even write more details. If I want to expand the information that it gave me and I wanted to continue writing, I would write continue last section where you left off and see what happens. Sometimes it gives you more information, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, I can't continue this section. I have not written, however, I can provide you more information about Simplified. Alright, I said it can't write more to that section, but it is giving me more information or a summary of what it knows about Simplified. With this summary and with this information here, I can then go to the next step. And the next step is simply rewriting it by hand. I know that's a pain in the butt, but by the time you use Quillbot and then rephrase it and it strips all your keywords out, it's just easier to open a blank document here in Word and simply put it aside by the other article. You're going to have both of these in the window, right? And then use your own imagination. I usually use another piece of software to do this, but just use your own information and start writing out the article like I did here. And the cool thing is that you come up with ideas that are totally unique to you. Like I wrote here something about improving efficiency. Let's see. Creating accurate, relevant, high quality messaging at scale cannot be achieved with human communication methods. Everyone is familiar with the game of telephone. In this game, people form a line, and it starts out with a seed message that's whispered into the ear of the first member of the line. And the message is relayed from person to person down the line until the message gets lost or changed very dramatically when it gets to the last person, right? The same thing happens with a company's message, right? If you have a bunch of people and they're in a room and they all are going to interpret the core information differently, right? And so a computer doesn't do that. They have a central database, and that database refers back to that database every time. The messaging that goes out from your company is the same consistent message every single time, and it doesn't deviate from the basic database of information. That's how you can use ChatGPT to create 100% human content without getting flagged for AI content. You can run it through Originality AI, and that written content that I just showed you, I pasted in here, and it comes back 100% human written because it doesn't use those generic writing styles that ChatGPT creates here. Although it does give me the information, and it does consolidate the information and summarize the information, and so I can use it as a reference so that when I write my content, I'm not searching all over the internet looking for information. I have it right here at my fingertips. ChatGPT does an excellent job at creating this information. If you want to learn more about how to create a blog, such as the one I set up at gallanroberts.com, there's more training in my private mini course, my free mini course. But if you want to upgrade to the pro version, I show you how to set up a blog just like this, how to write content, and how to do all the mechanics of setting up a website like this and getting it ranked in Google and making money from it, because that's the key thing that you want to do, is make money from it. Go to my blog, check out some of my articles, sign up for my free mini course. It just costs your email, and I look forward to seeing you soon. We'll see you in the next video. I look forward to talking to you soon. If you like the information in this video, then you're going to love this video right here. Go ahead and click on it now. Thank you for watching to the very end of this video. I'll see you in the next episode.